So first things first, I apologize for being MIA for a bit. I was down with what was either a sinus infection from the lowest chambers of Dante's Inferno or the pussiest variant of the coof. Pick your immunocompromised poison. The end result? I sounded like Louis Anderson with throat cancer, so I've been in Unabomber mode for the fucking duration. Explains the sunglasses anyways. And speaking of industrial society and its future, a subject near and dear to my heart as an Arizonan catapulted headlong into the news cycle at the speed of a Spanish slur, with the Biden administration quietly flying fuckloads of illegal aliens to major cities for, the past 2 titty fucking years. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said, why would you send them to New York or fucking Phoenix when they could pal around with you and the rest of the Democratic donor class at Martha's fucking Vineyard?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is under fire for using taxpayer dollars to organize flights of asylum seekers to Martha's Vineyard. The backlash comes as the Democratic governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is asking the Justice Department to pursue kidnapping charges against Republican governors who are sending migrants to Democratic-run cities.
What Ron DeSantis is doing is a disgrace. It's almost monstrous, and I say that not lightly. I say that quite thoughtfully. He's got kids. I have kids. You saw those young girls with backpacks, no older than his children, my children, being used as political pawns, and now he's using it to fundraise, to raise money. It's disgraceful. He's a disgrace.
The governor of California sent a letter to the Department of Justice saying you need to prosecute Texas and Florida governors, and all I can say is I think his hair gel is interfering with his brain function.
If Trump was a multinational tentpole picture, Ron DeSantis has spent the past 2 years setting himself up as the sequel. Whether he'll be The Last Jedi or The Empire Strikes Back remains an open question, but for my money, he took a titanic step into the latter classification with one of the most resplendent PR ass-poundings the Democratic Party has endured in a coon's age. After decades of Democratic politicians pretending professionally to give the faintest fuck about a group of people they and their corporate donors effectively farm for votes and glorified fucking serf labor, DeSantis said, let's skip the song and dance and get right to the part where you tell him to shut the fuck up and trim your azaleas. Like Cyclops with Walmart sunglasses, this was an optics kill shot. Thanks to the situation cunningly contrived by DeSantis, no matter what the Dems do, they wind up looking like Archie Bunker at the Apollo. Send him away? Congrats, by your own clown world logic, you're mecha Nazis from outer fucking space. Gonna bitch about being surprised by all this? Too bad, asshole. Turns out it was in the Florida budget Democrats already fucking voted on. Oh, and in case you were planning to complain about people being flown the fuck out on planes for purely political purposes, maybe even launching into hysterics and hyperbolically asserting that it's human trafficking, yikes, bitch! Biden's been doing it for over 2 years.
An ICE agent weighing in on the massive migrant drops we've seen at the southern border, and the details are stunning.
You trying to figure out what this is?
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
You know, you're on a secure facility here, and we don't really know anything, and we're in charge of security. So that's hence where we're having a problem here. So.
Yeah, we're hanging out here on the tarmac, just like that.
I don't know anybody.
I used to pick up basketball teams that had more security.
100%. Yeah.
This is video we shot yesterday in Brownsville, where we saw well over 50 single adult male illegal immigrants just dropped off by ICE near a parking garage in the city and released into the public. You're watching as an NGO leads those men across the street to a bus terminal. Many of those men had ankle monitors on. Several of them were hiding their faces.
We are not a sanctuary state, and it's better to be able to go to a sanctuary jurisdiction. And yes, we will help facilitate that transport for you to be able to go to greener pastures.
Ooh, that's gonna leave a Marcos. Really, the only thing the Democrats can do is clench their teeth, lock their windows, and pretend to be swell with this arrangement, while hoping the game of chicken ends before someone repaints the clubhouse lime fucking green. And while some were attempting to spin that reaction in that direction, MSNBC springs to fucking mind. It wasn't long before Archibald and Muffy blanched at the sight of their first minority outside of a McDonald's commercial and ran screaming into the Beverly Hills.
We have, at some point in time, they have to move from here to somewhere else, right? We don't have the services to take care of 50 immigrants, and We certainly don't have housing. We're in a housing crisis as we are on this island, and so we can't house everyone here that lives here and works here. We don't have housing for 50 more people.
This is the kind of master maneuver Trump had down to a science in the early days of his campaign and presidency, before the mono parties started to worm their way into his administration and undermine his otherwise well-attuned instincts. Well played, Ronnie. Well fucking played. The Democrats should have seen the spray paint on the wall here. Their Hispanic support has been eroding since the precise moment Trump descended that fucking escalator, such that now supposed battlegrounds such as Florida have lapped solid fucking red, largely spurred by, you guessed it, the once blue Hispanic vote. Who knew unapologetically proposing socialistic policies would prove unpopular with Cuban emigres who were only recently used as lead receptacles for Fidel fucking Castro? I remember thinking the Democrats had lost a step with Latinos around the time Biden started calling them leaf blower Americans. Although in fairness, that may actually be markedly less offensive than Latinx. What Chipotle is to Mexican food, Latinx is to actual Mexicans. All these years pushing the term Latinx, and the only one I've actually seen in the wild is Sammy Sosa. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
You stupid racist putas!
Oh, I think she just called us a tennis shoe. Oh, my goodness, well, someone woke up on the wrong side of the border.
Yeah.